Today we are talking about the brand new Sony ZV-E1 camera, and I'm going to tell you the 3 settings you need to change on this thing immediately to get the most out of it, right after this. Have you ever considered the reason you don't know what you want to do is simply because you haven't done enough things? Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new around here, my name is Joe. I'm not your average Joe, a veteran turned filmmaker photographer, and I'm here to help you find the creator within and turn passion into purpose. Today, we're talking about the 3 settings that you need to change on your brand new Sony ZV-E1, like right now, like yesterday. I'm gonna tell you the 3 settings that I always change first, and let's just jump right into it. So first things first, we're gonna switch this camera over to photo mode. We're gonna open this menu, and I'm gonna change the first setting that I always change in any camera. We're gonna go to file format. We're gonna switch this to RAW so we can get the absolute best out of the picture quality on this camera. And we're gonna go here to uncompressed to get as much detail to work with as possible. That way we put ourselves in the best situation when we're editing to make sure that, like I said, we get the most out of this 12 megapixel sensor. Coming over here, we're gonna hit menu again. We're gonna switch over to the video aspect. And when you come here to the menu and you go to image quality, you're gonna see file format here. You're gonna click on that, and now you're gonna see we've got 3 different types of 4K, 2 different types of HD, and to really quickly explain it, so the XAVC-S 4K is a standard 4K that Sony uses, and if you've ever used a Sony camera, that's the 4K that's on the A7 III, the A6400, or any of these cameras to shoot 4K, right? So that's a standard 4K. You come here, the XAVC-SI 4K is the highest quality, biggest file size 4K. It's the most that you can push it. For me, I don't find it necessary to get a file size that big because I'm using a 128 gig memory card. And when we come up to 4K here and come out of this menu, you can already see that I can shoot for about an hour, right? And so I don't want to push it any lower than that. And if you come up here to the XAVC-HS 4K, it's kind of the one in between the S and the SI. This one's kind of like in the middle, but you got to be careful because only certain types of computers can actually process that footage. So I like to shoot in this 4K, the S, but before we do that, I like to go into the HD, go into the movie settings, and you see you've got your frame rate and your record settings here. The biggest thing with this camera is the 422 10-bit. So I go over and I select all of these here and I switch them up to the 50 millimeter. I switch them up to the biggest file sizes and the 10-bit options. We go through, right? 60, 30, 24. Just make sure you switch them all up to the biggest file size and the 10-bit right there, just to get the most out of that, right? Now we're gonna go back and we're gonna do the same thing with the 4K. Again, we wanna get the most out of it. So for the 60p, see we're only an 8-bit, we wanna come up to 10-bit, just to make sure we get the most color and quality and crispy footage, because this camera is insane, right? I like to shoot, we're gonna go ahead and leave it at 4K 30. I like to shoot there. You can also program, if you look in here, you can program your own menu. I've started to do that. I'll go over that in another video. And the other thing you can do here is you can program a memory recall, but again, we'll get to that in another video. And then finally, the setting that I found that I needed to change the quickest coming here is when we come down to this last menu here, we come down to monitor. So if you've noticed, this camera does not have an electric viewfinder, and the only way that you're gonna see anything that you're shooting, photo, video, whatever it is through the monitor. So I go through this monitor brightness and I switch it to sunny weather just to make sure it's bright and it stays bright. We're gonna go over here and put high display quality and just make sure that that monitor is giving you the best that it can. I would say that's one of the shortcomings of this camera. I haven't noticed anything too crazy yet, but you know, they didn't put the best quality monitor on here, and because there's no viewfinder, you want to make sure you put the best settings that you can on that monitor. And there you have it. Those are the 3 settings that I change on this camera immediately to get the most out of that. And with that being said, I hope that this video helped you out, and if it did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, join the family, and let's continue going all in on YouTube. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.